Now, you and Tom Hanks have something in common in that you're one of the many people who guest starred on The Love Boat.
I have been on The Love Boat.
Jamie Lee Curtis has always been fearless. On screen, she's taken on terrifying roles. Off screen, she's just as... Instead, they spent time climbing their treehouse and getting into mischief, living like typical kids. In 1968, when Jamie was 9, Tony Curtis remarried. His new wife, Leslie Allen, missing Kelly deeply. Even so, Jamie and her sister remained close and built a strong bond over the years. Jamie attended prestigious schools in Los Angeles, including Harvard Westlake and Beverly Hills High. She graduated in 1976 from Choate Rosemary Hall in Connecticut. After high school, she briefly studied law at the horror classic. Producer Deborah Hill chose Jamie partly because of her mother, Janet Leigh, who was renowned for her role in Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Jamie would go on to reprise the role of Laurie Strode in multiple Halloween sequels, including Halloween II and Halloween H20 20 years later. The success of Halloween cemented Jamie's reputation as the Scream Queen, a title she earned through her work in numerous horror films. One of her next projects was The Fog, another collaboration with John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. Released in early 1980, the film received mixed reviews but performed well at the box office, further solidifying Jamie's position as a rising star in the genre. Over time, The Fog developed a loyal fan base and gained more critical appreciation. Later that year, Jamie starred in Prom Night, a low-budget Canadian slasher film released in July 1980. While critics dismissed it as unoriginal and too similar to Halloween, Jamie's performance earned her a nomination for Best Foreign Actress at the Genie Awards. In October of the same year, she appeared in Terror Train, another slasher film that received a lukewarm response from critics. Jamie often found herself playing characters similar to Laurie Strode, ordinary people thrust into terrifying situations who fought to survive against the odds. While some critics dismissed her 1980 films, Roger Ebert recognized her importance in the horror genre, likening her to icons like Christopher Lee and Boris Karloff. In 1981, Jamie took on a new challenge with the Australian thriller Road Games, where she starred alongside Stacy Keach under the direction of Richard Franklin, a friend of John Carpenter. The production faced hurdles from the start. The American distributor, Avco Embassy Pictures, the film was a box office hit, proving Jamie could shine outside the horror genre. Interestingly, her role in Trading Places came about through director John Landis, with whom Jamie had previously worked on a documentary called Coming Soon. The studio initially resisted casting her, doubting she could succeed in a non-horror role. But Landis stood firm, and Jamie later credited him with reshaping her career and broadening her opportunities. Disney's Beverly Hills Chihuahua. In the film, she appeared alongside Piper Perabo as one of the few live-action characters. In 2010, Jamie starred in the comedy You Again with Kristen Bell and Sigourney Weaver. She also lent her voice to animated films, including The Little Engine That Could in 2011 and the English version of From Up on Poppy Hill in 2012. On television, she played Dr. Samantha Ryan in 5 episodes of NCIS. Her character was a potential love interest for Special Agent Gibbs, played by Mark Harmon. Jamie expressed interest in returning to the series if her storyline expanded, but that didn't happen. The role reunited her with Harmon, as they had previously worked together in the Freaky Friday remake, where he played her character's fiancé and later husband. Jamie continued to appear in smaller roles, including in the films Veronica Mars, 2014, and Spare Parts, 2015. In 2023, she made a memorable guest appearance on the second season of Hulu's. Jamie expressed her hope that the Me Too movement would shine a light on these issues. She believed it was time for accountability and justice, not just for herself, but for all those who had endured similar experiences. Love, family strengthened their bond, and became a powerful example of unconditional love. Today, Jamie continues to advocate for the trans community, proudly standing by her daughter and celebrating the milestones they achieved together. A daughter's grief confronted her after seeing her take pills. He warned her about the dangerous path she was on. His words stayed with Jamie. Addiction isn't tied to fame or wealth. It can touch anyone. Jamie also recognizes how shame feeds addiction. She is committed to staying sober for life, though she acknowledges the journey is far from easy. Addiction, she says, is a constant battle. Even after years of sobriety, she faced a difficult test when she broke her ribs twice and needed medication. This time, Jamie handled it differently. She took the medication carefully, under supervision.